Hi guys, today we're going to talk about how important your pad is in order to retain women after you hook up with them and after the first or second date. It was a lot more important than I thought. Um, at least for me, it was like a complete game changer. It was the reason why I struggled with retention for so long. I'll give you a quick rundown of what not to do, of how you should not, like the apartment that'll cause girls to like not want to come back to your place. And I'll just give you a quick description of what my apartment was like. This is the same one, by the way. But it was basically just a bed, some tiny like old furniture, a desk beside the bed with an old laptop, a very small laptop, in which to watch like movies or Netflix on. And that was the extent of my like my apartment. And you think you're like, oh, no big deal. Like, how could that be a big problem for retaining girls? And it is a big problem. I had hooked up with countless women, and I really struggled with retaining them after. What I noticed was that the only girls that I could retain when I lived like this Spartan minimalist lifestyle, was girls that either were living on campus, so they were used to watching like videos on laptops, or they were, they lived at an apartment where they didn't have a TV and they watched all their movies on a laptop. What a surprise. The same kind of living conditions I was in. Those are the girls I retained, but it seemed like every other girl I wasn't retaining. So that's what kind of tipped me off. But some girls actually made it abundantly clear. Of the countless women that came to my apartment to hook up, only a handful actually made a comment about my seedy like living conditions. I had one girl say like, "Oh, wow, it looks like you just moved in." And I'm like, "No, I've been living here for 7 years." And I just brushed off the comment, didn't really think of it. After all, she hooked up with me. She just never came back. And then another girl came by and she's like, "Man, it's so painful watching movies on your laptop. It's so tiny compared to, at home, I've got a big ass like flat screen TV." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Still hooked up with her, so it must have not been a problem. But it was a problem. They never came back. And I think back to like all the countless women that came by to my apartment, and they were probably thinking the exact same thing, that, man, this place is kind of a dump and I don't feel super comfortable coming back there. And it wasn't until a girl finally made it abundantly clear so I could not miss it. She said, "Man, your place is a dump. I'm buying you a new TV and I'm going to hire some movers to move in my old furniture from my bedroom because I'm getting new furniture anyways." And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet deal, new free TV." And she bought me a big ass flat screen TV, and she moved in all of her like old, really nice furniture. This is one of them. She moved it all in, and she sat down and she's like, "Finally, it actually feels comfortable like hanging out at your place. Before, I hated it. I hated coming here." But now she could finally breathe a sigh of relief of being comfortable in this environment. It was like up to her standards finally. Whereas before, she always felt like she was, slumming it. And don't get me wrong, my apartment is still a slum, but now it's kind of like a comfortable place to hang out in. And that's the thing. If you want girls to come back to your place to Netflix and chill like every weekend, it's got to be a comfortable place to sit back and relax and chill. Because after all, you're only giving her what? Maybe an hour of intense orgasms? But what about the rest of the time that she spends with you? What about all those hours that she's spending at your house? If those suck, good luck trying to get her to come back. It's the same reason why all your high school friends had the same kind of living conditions that you did. Think back. If you ever went to your friend's house and you put on a movie and it was like you watched it and it was in black and white. His TV was black and white. You'd be like, okay, like I'm never coming back here to watch another movie again. From now on, we're watching the movies at my place. And that's the same thing. If you want to retain girls, you have to live in similar living conditions. You can't live like a minimalist, you know, just a laptop and a bed and a kitchen and like the bare minimum. It has to feel like comfortable to hang out in. And that's what this big ass like screen TV did. It provided entertainment. The girls want to hang out and watch movies. We can listen to music. We can talk while we're like watching like YouTube or Netflix. It's just a more comfortable environment to hang out in. You know, we can listen to music while we make dinner, while we eat. It just changed the game completely. As soon as all that stuff was moved in and the TV was in, I never struggled with retention ever again because I actually had a comfortable environment for girls to kick back and relax in. And that's what you need at the bare minimum. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be comfortable. And what's comfortable for you may not be comfortable for other women. So that's why you kind of have to get into the mind of a woman and be like, would a woman live like this? Like, would she be comfortable in this environment? And again, it doesn't cost a lot of money. My apartment is still a dump. I admit it, but it's a comfortable dump now. It's a comfortable, you know, girls say like, yeah, I love your place. It's so cool to hang out in. And that's the game changer. It was just some furniture, some minor furniture and a big screen TV. So now they don't have to like stare at this tiny ass laptop. So guys, if you're one of those guys that lives like a very Spartan lifestyle, their living conditions are very Spartan, and you struggle with retaining girls, it's probably because you're living that minimalist lifestyle. Just upgrade a little bit, buy the TV, buy like, you know, some furniture that looks half decent, and you're set. It's really a small investment that will, I admit, it's a lot more comfortable like hanging out at my place. I could never go back to watching stuff on my like crappy laptop. I completely understand why girls were like, oh, it's painful to like hang out at your place, because they're used to like, you know, more comfortable lifestyle. And here I was trying to like force them into like living like a pauper or a minimalist, you know, guy. And most girls are not minimalist, let's be honest. All right, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching.